So for instance, if there's a part of me that's concerned whether or not he will get on the call and I talk from that part, what he's hearing is, I'm concerned you're not going to be able to do it right. And what underneath that message, and we all of us as parents are guilty of this. We always do it. Like, I want to make sure I'm just helping, just making sure you get it right, you get there on time. But the underlying message is, if we're not careful, is that I don't believe in you. And if that message is there, oftentimes there might be an exile that gets hit, like, oh, dad doesn't believe in me. He doesn't love me enough. He doesn't think I'm good enough. And then the protector says, I can't let you feel that. Whoop. And the protector comes up to push us away. So even instead, maybe we just own up our own parts and say, I have a part that gets really worried that you might need my help and that you might miss your meeting. Is there anything that I can do to help you? Or do you have any ideas of how you're going to make sure you meet the meeting so that part of me can relax? And I think it's important for us all to remember too, like, children really need and appreciate clear, loving limits. So if there's work that you have to do or any of you have to do, I know that's one of the challenges of this time. Like, how do I get my work done and help them with their work done? Is especially if we know that we have been available to them, we set them up for success as best we can, to lovingly say, I'm sorry, I'm not available right now, and I have to do this work. And if your child gets upset, we can say, I can tell that that part of you really doesn't like that. Do you want to tell me about that? In Montessori, there's an analogy that a child is like a river, and our limits are the banks of a river. So, like, our rules and our guidance. And some people might say, well, I don't like rules, I don't like guidance. Well, like, if you're really permissive too much, it's like you're taking the banks of the river and stretching them out so wide that the river has no riverness anymore. It's just a swamp. On the other hand, if we're very strict and our banks are so tight, the river often starts running very quickly and oftentimes can overflow or run out of control. Like, it's almost like the river starts running fast when our limits are too tight. Oftentimes, those are the kids who are the hardest to deal with at school. Some of the research I've seen in the past, because they're so controlled at home, when they get school, they just kind of unleash. So for every child, we have to find out what is the limits that's good for this particular child, and do we have strong banks so we can say, I'm sorry, that's not a choice right now. Right now I have to work. If you'd like to work near me, you can. So these are the choices you have. You can set up your work near me. I have to wash dishes right now, so if you'd like to sit at the table so you can see me as we're doing this, that's okay. Or you can choose another spot. What would you like to do? And if you can be consistent with those limits and just hold to them, just like the banks of a river need to be made of stone so that the river doesn't erode and lose its banks, your child will adapt and be like, oh, okay, this is what life is. And it's safe. It feels very safe to a child to know where the limits are and to have limits, even if they push up against children, push against them. It's almost like when children push against your limits, think like they're seeing how much they can trust me to love them and to hold and keep them safe. And I can say, I can hold that. I can stay loving, stay soft, and also clear and firm about, this is the limit. I have to do my work right now. And sometimes I'll say, I have to work because I could lose my job. If I don't do my work, just like you get in trouble with your teacher, if you don't do your work, I get in trouble too. Or if it's a safety issue, I'll say, it's my job as your dad to keep you safe. That's my number one job, is to keep you safe and healthy. And if I let you do that, that could compromise your safety. So hopefully that helps too with this feeling better about holding limits during those times.